Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit more technical analysis on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets, guys, because in today's video, I want to show you a pattern that I found on the Bitcoin chart. It's very obvious. You guys have probably already seen it if you've done your technical analysis for today, but this pattern is probably going to lead to a Bitcoin breakout today. It might happen early tomorrow, but it's probably going to happen today, and that breakout is most likely going to be bullish. We'll be discussing whether or not we do see a bullish breakout following this, but if we come in here to the hourly chart, it becomes pretty obvious what this pattern is. It's very simple, guys. It's a consolidation pattern. It's a bull pennant, it's a flag, it's whatever you want to call it, it's bullish, and we're going to be discussing exactly how this might lead to another leg to the upside in today's video. From here, guys, we're going to be getting into just one piece of news because our friend Craig Wright has officially declared himself Satoshi Nakamoto as per this random piece of paper that the Bolivian government, that the Bogotan government gave him, This claims that he is the founder of Bitcoin and that he is Satoshi Nakamoto. We're going to be getting into this in a little while. This, just like Craig Wright, is a bit of a joke, so we'll be discussing that at the end of the video after we get through the actual real adult material, otherwise known as actual Bitcoin technical analysis here. But after we do the technical analysis here on Bitcoin, I want to dive into a little bit of news pertaining to our good friend Craig Wright. He is totally Satoshi Nakamoto, and this piece of paper down here that he was presented in Bogota claims that he was as well. We'll be discussing this in a little while. Craig Wright is a bit of a joke, so too is this article, but we're going to be reading it at the end of the video after we get through the serious stuff like Bitcoin technical analysis. Craig Wright has never been a serious topic for the channel here. But anyway, guys, enough shade being thrown. Before we get on into the video, I do want to tell you guys about the like button. It is such a beautiful like button. It is so amazing. It is absolutely incredible, but I also want you to destroy that like button. Make it wish it was never born. It's too beautiful to be alive, guys. Go down there, destroy that like button. Also, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell because we do cryptocurrency technical analysis videos every single day. So without much further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. First thing that we need to do is we need to catch up on what has happened here in the last 24 hours or so. So I'm actually going to come down to the 15-minute chart so we get a little bit more resolution. I'm going to turn the 20 EMA off here. In yesterday's video, I was recording somewhere around right here, and then right after I finished recording, we did a live stream. And during that live stream, first and foremost, the most important thing we did during that live stream is that we raised $194 for the local homeless shelter. I sent that off this morning. There is a receipt of that on the community tab for proof so that you guys know that money is going to the right place. We've now raised over $400 for that local homeless shelter, and I could not be happier. I'm so very proud of this community, as the meme would have it. So guys, I do want to thank you guys for that. Thank you to everyone who tuned into that live stream. But during that live stream, we saw a massive sell-off right here where Bitcoin ran from 11,001 all the way down to 10.3. We saw nearly $1,000 dive in not a very long period of time. It was like 5-10 minutes at most. This happened very quickly. Well, it actually happened less than that. But if you include the entire thing, it's probably about 10 minutes of price action, just gigantic cliff dive that we saw Bitcoin do. And we watched it happen live. And it was funny because right before it happened, I was talking about how we were probably going to see some kind of pullback. And lo and behold, we did. And I think in yesterday's video, I mentioned that there might actually be a pullback that very day. And we did see one. From there, though, it wasn't the end of the world. And I was telling people that on stream. I was being very calm, making sure everybody was cool. Just because Bitcoin has a little bit of a pullback, even if that pullback is literally nearly $1,000 in the span of 15 minutes, even if that kind of thing happens, it's nothing to worry about, guys. Bitcoin is still very bullish on the longer-term time frames above the 15-minute, above the hourly. We're looking ridiculously bullish on the daily chart, for example. The Bitcoin fundamentals are very strong. So just seeing a correction like this is nothing to write home about. It's nothing to be scary about. It's nothing to be scared about, and it's nothing to go and sell all of your position for. I hope you guys didn't go and cash out of Bitcoin thinking that the rally was over just because we saw that happen, because I would disagree with you if you think the rally is over. At least the technicals would, and here are those technicals. Guys, before us we have a consolidation pattern, and this consolidation pattern is following a massive dive, albeit, but before we saw Bitcoin go and jump off a cliff like that, we saw that Bitcoin had a massive rally. Starting back here on the 20th, Bitcoin rallied from $9,300 all the way up to 10K. We broke it, got a lot of mainstream media news attention, and Bitcoin continued rallying from there. We saw some good news come in over the last couple of days, like Libra launching. Now, I have a feeling some people are arguing about whether or not that's good news, but it's definitely bullish news. I don't think anyone can argue that it is, in fact, fact bullish. Having a $500 billion company stepping into the cryptocurrency space is going to bring a lot of attention to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And as a lot of people would say, any attention is good attention. All press coverage is good press coverage. Just ask Miley Cyrus. Facebook stepping into the cryptocurrency space, putting its name behind Bitcoin is going to be a very, very bullish thing. It's going to lend a lot of Facebook's quote-unquote credibility to the space and allow Bitcoin to go a little bit higher now that people that are in Facebook will now associate Bitcoin and Libra and cryptocurrencies all in the same kind of pool together. So Bitcoin ran into this consolidation pattern, and this is what we need to talk about in today's video. Let's go ahead and bring up the volume and make sure that this is a proper consolidation pattern, that it has been confirmed by volume, and that we are going to more than likely see a breakout. And that is a resounding yes. As we can see here, guys, volume has been falling off. It has been dropping quite substantially ever since we first had this fall off right here. A lot of volume at the beginning of the consolidation pattern, dropping off as the pattern continues. We're here probably about 85% of the way through the pattern. Normally, you would have seen the breakout already, which is why I'm most likely going to be looking for this pattern to break out today. It might even end up breaking out before this video goes live, unfortunately. But if we do see a breakout, I think it's personally going to be to the upside. And that's not even that hard of a call to make because Bitcoin is very bullish right now. This pattern is following bullish price action. And when it's following bullish price action like this, a lot of times it is going to result in a bullish breakout. I think we're probably going to see a bullish breakout. And honestly, I think it's probably going to be before 2 to 3 o'clock Eastern time. You can convert that to your own time. That's UTC -4. You can see the time that I'm recording this at 7:15 a.m. right now, my time. I think we're probably going to see a breakout before that time. And in fact, based on what Bitcoin's doing right now, we might see it right now, to be totally honest. This could end up happening as we're recording this video. We're probably going to see a bullish breakout, and from there, Bitcoin is probably going to rally back up to, and most likely above $11,000 once again, and continue the rally higher. There is a small chance that Bitcoin's breaks to the downside and retests $10,000. I would personally prefer that option. I would personally prefer Bitcoin to fall through 10,000 and come down to like 6,000. And I ran a poll in yesterday's video asking what you guys thought about that. About half of you said that you would prefer that, and like the other half said you wouldn't prefer that. The reason I say that, to be very clear, is not that I'm betting against Bitcoin. I don't want the worst for anyone. It's because if it goes down to $6,000, that's another buying opportunity, guys. I'm thinking about putting another $5 grand into Bitcoin, and I would love to get literally nearly double my Bitcoin for that investment than I would if I were to be buying at $10,600. I already have a very large position, but I want to add more because I want to get ready for this bull market, guys. I want to have as much as I possibly can. I am greedy in that sense. I want to get my hands, I want to get my dirty little paws on all the Bitcoin I possibly can, and that is one way that you can do it. Let's go ahead and look at our technical indicators here and go ahead and confirm that everything looks okay. Like I said, the daily chart looks very bullish. We have a very bullish MACD at the moment. The histogram is rising even higher. These two lines are separating even further. The MACD line up here and the signal line getting further and further apart, as we can see down here on our bars. One thing I do want to point out is something I just noticed, actually. I didn't notice this until a while ago. Or excuse me, I didn't notice this until just now, but we're actually looking at some classical RSI divergence on the longer term time frames for, not the longer term time frames, the longer term on Bitcoin here on the daily chart. I just noticed this as we're recording. We have an uptrend of resistance right here, and depending on where Bitcoin tops out, we're going to see something like that. But notice that we have a downtrend of resistance here on the RSI. What that means is that either Bitcoin has a lot more room to run because that RSI isn't done climbing up here, or it means something very different. It means that this RSI divergence is going to result in a downtrend. RSI divergence on the daily chart is very powerful, guys. It's very rarely going to be completely ignored by the market, and it normally does result in some kind of price action. This is something that I think is going to be important to come to think of. I didn't even notice this until just now, actually, and it is something we're going to want to keep an eye on. Depending on where Bitcoin tops out, like I said, is going to depend on whether or not this is actual RSI divergence. But for Bitcoin to actually set a new high, or even an equivalent high here on the RSI, we would probably need to go above $12,000 at least. But with all that said, let's look at our oscillators and everything down here on the hourly chart as well. On the hourly chart, Bitcoin's looking great, guys. All these technical indicators are ready for a breakout. If we look here at the stochastic RSI and the RSI, both of them are oversold enough to have enough room to allow for a rally. And we also, in fact, just saw a bullish reversal and bullish convergence here on the MACD. We can see that we're having the MACD line converge and close in on the signal line, looking for a cross here. We may actually see a cross here in the next couple of hours as Bitcoin gears up for another bullish breakout. I do think today is going to be bullish for Bitcoin, and I do think that Bitcoin is probably going to be above $11,000 in today's video. With that, in today's trading day. With that said, I also want to make a caveat here. Sometimes what you'll see happen here is that Bitcoin will blow straight through the moon out of some of these consolidation patterns, have a blow off top, and then the rally will end right after that. So Bitcoin might have a big breakout today, but just as easily it could have a gigantic correction. That's kind of what we saw in yesterday's video. We saw in yesterday's live stream also. Big rally, pretty quick drop off, and then we traded sideways. Same thing can happen again, guys. Bitcoin can break out here, go to $11,700, an actual technical level of resistance on the Fibonacci and previous price levels, and see a big correction. Bitcoin's moving very quickly right now, and that doesn't just mean that it can move very quickly in the bullish direction. We saw from an $800 crash in yesterday's video that that is very much something that can happen to the bearish direction as well. Like I said, guys, if Bitcoin does break out here, I'm looking at this resistance level around 11.7. If we bring up our Fibonacci, then we'll also see a reason for us to be looking at that level. Right just under that is the 0.5% level for the entire history of the Bitcoin bear market on Fibonacci retracement here. Around 11.5 is our halfway point. And guys, to be totally honest, 11.5 to 11.7 would make sense for the top of a rally like this. Bitcoin's been rallying for a very long time. What I would love for Bitcoin to do is come up here and test $10,000 as a level of support, confirm it as a level of support, set it in stone, and then bounce again and continue higher over the next month or two. I would love to see something like that happen. Love to see Bitcoin consolidate a little bit, let it kind of lock in the gains that it's made, let some more people flow into the space, let some good news come back into the market, and continue on higher later on into the summer. Moving on into maybe August and September, we see a lot more bullish price action following that. Guys, I think a big bullish breakout is coming to Bitcoin in today's video, in today's trading day, and I also think that Bitcoin is looking very, very bullish for the long term. With that said, guys, we do have to keep in mind one caveat as well. Bitcoin is rallying very quickly, considering only 6 months ago Bitcoin was trading sideways, and 6 months before that we were in the midst of a bear market. Bitcoin does move quickly. Bitcoin does change directions quickly. People are very excited. Those are all caveats of a caveat, but you also do want to remember that Bitcoin is 300%, 250% from where it started this rally back in February, and corrections are always going to happen. It's never a question of if, it is always going to be a question of when. So keep in mind that eventually there is going to be a correction. Now, we don't know exactly how large it'll be. Some people are talking about a CME gap down at $7,700, $7,300, excuse me. I don't think we're going that low. That gap might never get filled, even though they normally do. Nevertheless, always be careful. Always protect yourself with stop losses. Bitcoin is rallying now, but that doesn't mean it will tomorrow, so always make sure you're being safe. Anyway, guys, we did wrap up the cryptocurrency technical analysis sale yesterday. There will be more in the future, of course. We had a ton of you guys join. I want to say something like 50, 60, 70 of you guys joined during that sale. Good on you. I hope you guys are doing well. If you're enjoying CT2A, tell me in the comment section down below. I love hearing your guys' feedback. Normally it's positive, but when it's negative, I love trying to help you guys with it and make sure that anything you need is covered. Anyway, moving on. Let's go ahead and get on to this news. Craig Wright gets certificate declaring himself Satoshi Nakamoto. That's pretty funny because Craig Wright is completely not the embodiment of what Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency community represent. He's the kind of guy who sues people on Twitter who make fun of him. He's the kind of person who is very fragile and who loves to berate people when they say that he's not Satoshi Nakamoto. He's very sensitive about it, and he's also not Satoshi Nakamoto. I think that whoever is actually Satoshi Nakamoto would be very, very, very capable of proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that they are in fact Satoshi Nakamoto. It's funny they have UFOs here because it's a very similar concept. If aliens were real, I think in the age of 1080p cameras and like 14 megapixel cameras on every single smartphone, we'd have some kind of proof that aliens were real. There might be aliens out there, I don't know, but I think if they were really real and that they had been here for a long time, you would think that we would know about it. That's a hard thing to cover up. Satoshi Nakamoto, likewise, would be someone that could very easily prove that he was actually the founder of Bitcoin. There wouldn't be a question about it, and everybody wouldn't not believe him. I think that is that's also one of the things that is against him. Not only that, but of course everything else as well. Arguably the most controversial figure in the cryptocurrency space, Dr. Craig S. Wright's claim of being Satoshi Nakamoto, the elusive creator of Bitcoin, has seldom landed on sympathetic ears, and one of those won't be mine. His failure to back himself up with credible evidence in the face of stark criticism has made him the subject of ridicule from the wider crypto community. And I want to be very fair here. I want to play devil's advocate for both sides. This is obviously a hit piece on Craig Wright, and that's not really fair to him, even though I think he's not fair to other people. I do want to point out that there is a bias in this article. I like doing that when this is definitely opinionated. This is obviously not coming from an objective standpoint. This is obviously not coming from a bipartisan or a non-affiliated standpoint. There's obviously shots being thrown at Craig Wright here. So if you want want to look into this, go look at it from both sides. I don't think it's real. If it is, maybe it is. I don't know. Go do your own research. That's not what this video is about. This video is about news. So I'm going to go ahead and read just a little bit of this, and then we'll do a quick breeze over. It's a rather short article. Pretty much what happened here is Craig Wright was at the Colombian capital in Bogota to attend the Bitcoin Expo Internacional in 2019 this year, one of the largest cryptocurrency events in Latin America. The event promoted Bitcoin SV education with the vision of expanding the scope of the technology to make the region, and by extension, the world, a better place. I do think that cryptocurrency Bitcoin, not Bitcoin SV, has a very bright future and is going to do great things for the world, but I'm not sure if Craig Wright has a position in that. Even if he is Satoshi Nakamoto, when you sue people who claim that you're not Satoshi Nakamoto, that really doesn't paint you in a good light. And if you are in fact the creator of Bitcoin, that doesn't paint your Bitcoin, your creation, in a good light. If he is actually Satoshi Nakamoto, he's doing a terrible job of representing himself, and he's by that standpoint, he's by that extension doing a terrible job of representing Bitcoin. He's not the kind of representative that we want for cryptocurrency. We don't want someone who goes and sues people on Twitter, a representative of Bitcoin. Not something that we want. Absolutely not. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of breeze on through this. This is just something I wanted to mention. As expected, the move riled up many. Yeah, of course, because what they basically did is they presented him a document claiming, not claiming, but mentioning him in there as the creator of Bitcoin. He's the world famous creator of Bitcoin. This got a lot of people stirred up, as you would expect. And a lot of people are concerned that he might actually use this document to try and prove that he's Satoshi Nakamoto, or build his repertoire of proof or whatever that he is actually Satoshi Nakamoto. Meanwhile, concerns have been raised on social media that Wright could exploit the certificate to further his agenda by quashing voices of dissent. Anyone can print off a piece of paper that says literally anything, and it's really not that big a deal for him to have that, but I don't really want him waving that around, acting like he is Satoshi Nakamoto because a piece of paper says that he is. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for that news story. I did just want to go ahead and mention that and talk about Craig Wright for a little bit. A lot of people are not fans of him, although I have seen some people in the comment section have it, talking about Bitcoin SV being the real Bitcoin and everything. Look, guys, I don't know everything. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Craig Wright is Satoshi Nakamoto. I've been wrong in the past. Everybody's been wrong in the past. It wouldn't be the first time. I just simply don't think it's true. All jokes aside, I've been making some jabs in this video. I'm mostly doing that for comedic effect. I just don't think it's true. And I'm also not very happy with Craig Wright when he goes and sues people, and when he claims that he's something that I don't think he is and that he can't prove that he is. Anyway, guys, that is pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. I do hope you did enjoy today's technical analysis, and tell me in the comment section down below where you think Bitcoin is headed. Are you looking for a Bitcoin breakout in today's video? Are you going to be trading this breakout? Are you going to be keeping yourself stop losses below your trade so that you're safe? I certainly hope the answer to that is yes. Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys are up to and what trades you're doing. What's going on in your life? I want to get a conversation going on down there. We'll probably be doing a live stream on Monday, so if you want to tune in for that, you go right ahead and do that. I would love to see your pretty face over there. We're going to be doing another charity live stream, of course. I want to get several $1,000s off to that homeless shelter and really make a difference over there. I'm sure they are appreciating that. But anyway, guys, one last thing, and that is that I want to go ahead and plug the like button. Guys, we haven't hit that like button really, really hard in a while. Go ahead and destroy that like button, and as I joked in a previous video, if you don't like this video, go ahead and hit that dislike button twice, so I'm absolutely positive that you don't like the video. Anyway, guys, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching, as always, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.